Albert entered the compartment of the train with his son Kevin. Kevin was almost a man now, having just turned 25. A couple were already sitting in the compartment, and they looked at the grown man with a wide smile on their face, in surprise. They immediately decided that the young guy was a little off his rocker, or had some kind of mental illness. The train started moving. Albert sat across from his companions, and Kevin opened the window and stuck his hand out. The wind blew in his hair, and he smiled broadly. "Daddy," he shouted excitedly. "Daddy, look at all the trees. It's like they're running backwards. It's fantastic." Albert only smiled, and as he did, he noticed the couple looking at each other. It was clear that the woman was not happy that she had to be around his son for the whole trip. Kevin, on the other hand, stayed close to the window and commented loudly on everything he saw behind it. "Daddy, look, there's a lake with swans on it. How beautiful they are. Oh, and there's some horses, aren't there?" The woman and her husband watched Kevin with embarrassment and looked even a little frightened. Albert, on the other hand, looked calmly at his grown son and only smiled happily. "Oh, the clouds. They're flying behind us, but we're faster. Daddy, we're outrunning the clouds. It's great." Albert noticed the woman saying something to her husband. The husband was obviously not happy. He got up and went to the conductor. Albert overheard the man talking to the conductor, who informed the husband that there were no compartments available in the carriage and that he could move the couple. Albert wanted to be offended by this behavior of his fellow travelers, but then he saw his son's happy face again and didn't care. "Daddy," Kevin called out to him again. "It's raining. Look how big the drops are. What a black sky. The lightning. How beautiful it is." The couple continued to leer at Kevin, but realized that he was more interested in the window than they were. At this, they calmed down a bit. The wife asked whether it was difficult for Albert to be with Kevin. He replied that he was used to it, that his son was blood and flesh, so he didn't consider it hard. Kevin spotted a bug and examined each of its legs and tendrils with fascination. He was smiling so much at the bug that the couple across the seats involuntarily began to stare at the insect too. Kevin stood up and stepped back to the window to let the bug out. The woman couldn't stand it any longer. She leaned over to Albert and whispered, "Why don't you take your son to some clinic for a consultation? Maybe he could get some help." Albert smiled. "He just came from the clinic. Today my son got his sight for the first time in his life." Don't judge the deeds and actions of others without having all the facts. Remember the saying, "Judge not, lest ye be judged."